So who's got questions? How can I help? Well, let me make sure I've got the recording on. Yep, good. Okay, well, see you next week.
All right. Yeah, there's I just hate to even waste the time because I'm so new to this. Uh, you know, okay, here's a general question. It really isn't directly related to a submission, but how much are you expected to promote your own promote it yourself? I suppose it depends on what sort of deal you get cut. Promote your book yourself.
If
Your
you go
question.
with a top five publisher, like a big, well, actually top six now because Amazon is an enormous publisher. And if they pay you over $100,000 advance for a book, that indicates that's a really good indication that they're going to put some serious marketing behind your book. If you go with a mid-sized publisher and they give you $10,000 advance for a book, you also are probably in great shape marketing wise. They're going to help because the smaller mid-sized ones, they're big enough that they've got a staff and they get the work done, but they're not so big like Random House where you could just get lost. So when you are working with an agent, they're going to come up with a strategy for what kind of house they're going to pitch you to, what kind of editor. And so where you're screwed a little, excuse my language, sorry, I don't know you guys well enough. I shouldn't be using Saturday language on Thursday nights, but where you get messed with is when you're with a big house that didn't pay you a lot of money. You're with a 23-year-old editor who's got 19 other projects and you maybe will get a little attention. Or you go with a really small house that doesn't have the expertise. So, in terms of how much you're expected to do, you're expected to participate in what they set up. Um, some people love interviews, and other people they would prefer to never be on camera, so they write everything. You are given some choices, but you are expected to answer questions from interviewers either in writing or on podcasts. Your publisher, if you've got a good agent, your publisher is definitely going to be running ads. And if you are on social media, and you don't have to be, but if you're on social media, and Brian, I'm talking about you in specific because uh, you have other platforms that you could benefit from. But if you're a novelist or a memoirist who's written a beautiful book and you're not on social media, it's okay. Your publisher is going to ask you probably to sign up for Instagram so that when they run ads, you can join them. But you're going to be asked to participate in what they ask you to do for the most part. There are a lot of horror stories out there by people who get a $7,000 advance from Simon and Schuster, and they are left with no marketing help, none. But your agent, if you're an agented author, that shouldn't happen. I mean, that's one of the first things agents do is get a commitment from marketing.
Is it true that they want you to have like thousands of subscribers on your social media before they give you a chance? Or
I can
I
tell
mean,
you exact numbers. There's a publisher called Chronicle. Chronicle
uh,
does beautiful coffee table books and humorous books and they will not look at an author unless they have at least 500,000 followers minimum. And if but that's Chronicle. There are other publishers like Abrams. Abrams is a wonderful publisher. And you don't have to have a social media presence at all. If you're writing a nonfiction book, if you're writing a novel, these answers. So for those of you who are watching on a replay, I'm talking about nonfiction authors only.
okay.
Nonfiction only. If you've got a big enough mailing list, or if you plan on hitting the speaking circuit, or maybe the speaking circuit is not for you, but you have a lot of events that you're willing to do. What I often do with, if I've got clients that I'm selling nonfiction projects and they don't have a big platform, is I say right up in my pitch letter that they'll commit to using their entire advance to pay for publicity and marketing help. That often will catch someone's attention. If you're a novelist or a memoirist, and I don't mean memoir plus, but I mean if you literally wrote a beautiful little chapter of your life, you don't need a big platform. You just need a beautifully written book.
Oh, well, that's good news.
Yep. It helps to have a platform.
Right.
Did JC Lynn get, a multi-million dollar deal because she had 1.8 million followers on TikTok? Yes. Yes, she did. But if the book wasn't awesome, she wouldn't have gotten that kind of money. But yes, when they talk about platform, and we're going to do this when we do your proposals, if you don't have a six-figure following, don't even mention. I mean, you could put your links in, but don't mention,
Right.
like, if you've got 1,300 followers or 23,000 followers, just don't mention it.
Yeah, I don't see how I could get that many. I just have no idea how it would happen. I mean, I've only got, I'd be lucky to get 150 people. How do they do it? Do they do it by like I think on TikTok, people just follow each other just because everyone wants to get their numbers up? Is that the trick?
The trick is to get a good shtick. And your shtick can be you write book, you look into the camera and you do characters, or you do book reviews, or you tell jokes, or you lip sync comedians. There's shticks out there. One of my clients, she's on TikTok all the time and she's pretend typing on her laptop and she's making fun of fantasy novels. And it's a voiceover, where the men all smell like cinnamon, and even though they haven't bathed in 2 months, the women are, fresh as a daisy. Um, so you can get a shtick, but not everyone's funny. Not everyone wants to be on camera. So what a lot of people do is they'll go to Instagram and they will I actually have a class that I teach with a plan where if they don't want to be on TikTok, Instagram is your next best choice. And, you know, you post 3 times a day. You post a picture of a rose and talk about how you can't believe your wife ran over the rose bush, and then a picture of your dog, and then and you cross post and you support other authors. I actually teach a class on this, which I'm happy to send you guys a video of. But getting a social media presence is it's a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about the video part, like YouTube, or I'm glad you mentioned that for Instagram, because I haven't really wanted to get into TikTok, but just something to promote, like the topics in whatever it is I'm writing and trying to get published.
I have a client named Darby Cox. Her book comes out next Tuesday, the 10th. She has less than 1,000 followers. She got a nice deal with Random House. It wasn't huge, but they are posting everything on Instagram, and she has been, I mean, her numbers have just been going up and up. We started with like 1,600 pre-orders, and now we have 4 times that. And it's all just because of, she's posting interesting things on Instagram, but it's just still photos. You don't have to be on camera if you did. She doesn't want to dance or be funny.
Yeah, that could backfire.
I know when I've followed people who I didn't know, it's been somebody who I just I kind of liked them. I
Yeah,
liked what they were doing. So yeah,
yeah,
and so just gotta be likable.
Yes. Yeah. Be likable and have a theme. I call it a shtick, which is weird for a little Catholic girl to use the word shtick. But yeah, having a theme.
Look at my notes, see if I have questions.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post that class. Oh, but Ken, you're in your car. I can email this to everyone. Let me post that video about social marketing and social media for authors if you guys want it.
thank you. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm going to ask you not to share it with other authors because I do teach this class for agents helping authors, and that's a nonprofit that I run. We give 100% of our proceeds to scholarships to authors who can't afford to go to conferences or to take craft classes. So I'm very happy to share it with you guys, but I ask that you just keep it to your. Let's see, where's the chat? Here it is. There you go. And I'll email it. And I was speaking with one of you last night and saying that somebody was asking me questions about query letters. And I have a 27-minute exactly how I would write a query letter if I were you video that I was going to offer you guys if that was something that would be of interest.
Oh, yes, definitely.
All right.
I'll take
Yeah.
all the re resources I can get.
All right. Well, I'll
Amy,
also drop how to write a plot synopsis in there.
Yeah, those
Amy,
are
that was me.
hard.
Kenneth Cross is my pen name, so that was me you were talking to.
Oh, hi. Sorry, Ken, I
Mystery
didn't
solved.
recognize the name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, Ken, have you decided on a book yet?
On a what?
On which book yet?
Which book? I guess I'm not understanding the question.
You,
I, I've
when you go ahead.
I've written one manuscript.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you, I'm maybe I'm confusing you with someone else, but
I
when
had
you
two.
were, Brian, I'm sorry, you have one that's coming out and one that's out and one that you're working on. I apologize. I was in the car all day yesterday talking to you guys one after another, and I'm so sorry I got you confused.
No, it's all good. I wish I had two
No, I
by the
have
end of the year.
too many ideas and master of none. I'm the jack of all different great ideas and master of none, but
There's a reason why I was published by Simon and Schuster back in 2013, 2014. I did a couple of nonfiction books. I hated it so much. I will never write another book if I can get away with it. Yeah, I mean, they did well, but
I think I lost you a minute.
Frozen screen there going
Oh,
on Amy.
oh, other questions. Now that I've got you all straight.
Uh, yeah, the one thing is I tried to go into USA Today, was experimenting to try to go to their bestseller list and they don't sort it out the same way that it was sorted out when you did the lecture. The genre just says fiction now.
Oh,
And maybe I
um,
just didn't look hard enough. Maybe I just didn't
no,
look.
no, 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 no. Let me look because they shut it down for 4 months, and then last November, not November, last August, they put it back up.
I mean, I still can get through there, but uh, I can just use this. We got plenty of tools to find stuff.
Oh, they've got um, yeah, no, literary, body, mind, spirit, philosophy,
Okay, all right, we got it broken down. I just didn't look hard enough.
cooking, history, juvenile, kids books, young adult. Um, you're right. They do say fiction, but they also, but so if
It's just a
you're,
different set of stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure I'll be able to find something.
yeah, because you used to be able to say sci-fi, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
So the other thing is, you were telling me that I had two questions. I guess I'll just start with one,
Hmm?
and that is the one I finished one and I put it out to I self-published it, and you said if you're going to self-publish, then don't don't submit that book because unless you've sold 10,000 of them, you know, to
That
the
was a little hyperbole, but unless if you've sold 5,000 or 6,000,
yeah,
yes.
but because but I could pull it down, retitle it, and just pretend it was never out there. If and
Yes, I
and
have done that more than once.
and the other thing is even though it's the same book, it doesn't matter. I guess because you got to have a quick filter. You got a lot of stuff to go through. I guess that's a filter that they use. Is that right? It's like, you hadn't sold any, forget off.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. And it's unfair. But when people say I didn't do a great job marketing it, or I worked really hard to market it, and you sold 65 copies, that it there's too many other authors out there with self-published books that sold 6,500 copies, and so
Yeah.
they're going to pick those.
And then the other one that I'm working on isn't done yet. So I don't know if that's even I can even market it yet. I don't know if I could at least I can use this class for that later, you know.
Yes, yep. You can definitely you can repeat this with the book that you're not done with yet. But the book that you were telling me about sounded really interesting, and you did send it to me. Thank you for that. Um, uh, and I I wouldn't hesitate to pitch agents for that book, even if it already exists.
Yeah.
You and I'll just need to we're just gonna have to tell a good story.
Okay.
We're gonna have to figure out the story. And listen, no one can bend the truth like I can. We can figure out a good story.
All right. Thank you. That was my first question. I'll stop because someone else needs to get a turn to talk here.
I'm just
Uh,
new. I'm just taking it all in, trying to catch up.
well, welcome, Kathy. We're glad you're here.
Hi, am I off mute?
You are off mute. You're
Okay, yay. I am
yeah,
driving down the 10th freeway heading home from visiting my son and was in traffic for 3 hours. So I didn't
oh,
make it home. So yes, but
sorry.
good to see you.
I am very sorry about that.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's Los Angeles. Um, yeah, so I will just be here.
Okay, well, we're just asking questions about, some of you have seen the comp title week 3, some of you haven't. One of the things that is very important to me is that we all understand that walking into bookstores and seeing new books, signing up for newsletters, seeing the new titles that are coming out in our genre on a regular basis is going to make us a much luckier author. And so finding out who your readers are and doing all of these these first 2 weeks of annoying exercises, um, I get it. It's like, why should I have to do this? But it increases your chances of getting an agent when you know more about your readers, when you know more about your fellow authors. You were saying, Brian, what do you do with social media? Go find as many authors as you admire and follow them and comment on their posts. Compliment their books.
Yeah, because then they may be willing to write blurbs for you later on.
They might, but one of the things, the class that I teach, the social media class that I gave you the link to, if you become a trusted resource for writers, for authors, for your community, and you simply just do it with integrity, you get it back fivefold. You really do. But doing it expecting that someone's going to follow you back or write a blurb, that doesn't work as well.
No, you're right. It works much better when it's kind of more you're just doing you're following the people that you're interested, you have the same interest and you're
Mhm.
responding because you're interested. Organic, I think.
Yeah. And again, being a trusted resource really helps. Oh, you know what you can do though? Ken or Brian, one of you just said that the USA Today list is not, it no longer sorts the way that it did when I did the video, and I will redo the video. But you can download it in a PDF and then hit Control F and search by like romance. Because when you download the PDF, they put a lot more information in there. So does anyone have any questions about comp titles or anything?
Well, Amy, I was just going to say when I was working on, I've only done week one, but this is my second round of doing it. And what made more sense to me is when you're looking, at least I think this is it. When you're looking for where you'd be on the shelves or who you'd be shelved by, you're looking at what the bookstore would classify you with. So since mine has stuff on religion, even though it's more about any kind of indoctrination and a bunch of other things, then it was much easier when I just said, oh, okay, I will be placed on sides, because in their view, it's different than the comps, I'm guessing.
Yes, and it's very different from the comps, very different process. It's about market viability. Can you walk into a library, a bookstore, a Walmart, a supermarket, depending on your genre, and can you find books that you would be shelved next to? Because that instantly proves to you that that's going to help you make the case that your book has market viability. It isn't about comps yet. It's about learning what the industry looks like, because it changes every 90 days. There's all new books all the time. I mean, it's just so fast. And paying attention to who the authors are that you would share readership with it's going to do you so much good in the end. Comps,
I'm
on the other
surprised how much
hand,
it changed.
yeah, no, comps, on the other hand, they're to prove to an agent that you've got readership, and that somebody would buy a book like yours.
Well, I'm surprised just even since August, was it?
Mhm.
How many more titles there are that come up when I'm looking, and how many more editors and agents are looking for things in my genre
You did a
or
great
along my
job with that list. When I saw the list of titles, because I remember the first time,
Yeah,
yeah, you did a great job with that list of titles.
thank you. But it did feel different because I wasn't so worried. Like, as long as they were in the general range, it's like, yeah, they're not. I wasn't looking for a story like mine. I was looking for something associated with it.
Exactly.
When I do it for good, actually, in a couple months, I think I would also be looking. I would be more narrative. Like I didn't in all of the search say narrative and literary, because when I went back to scan my book, it's like, yeah, it kind of is, as opposed to just
Yeah.
straight open and start telling the story like some of them did.
We already have the book Educated. We already
Yeah.
have An Iron Wing. We already have The Fishmonger's Wife. We do not, so comps are not stories just like yours. Comps are books that prove that readers out there want stories like yours. But you don't want to, if you find a story just like yours, yikes, you might want to edit.
Yeah.
Of course, I say that,
Like,
and I talk about Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is if you literally, I'm in the fantasy world, but there was a book 15 years ago called Divergent, and
Yeah.
Fourth Wing is exactly Divergent, except with dragons. It is the exact same story, and it drives me nuts. So,
So it's hard to keep a level head when you're doing this, because sometimes you think, oh, well, you just took my idea. Why would I, what, now what do I do? Or then you think, well, that's interesting, but mine's different, like in this way. Um, it's
yes,
just, for what
publishers
it's worth,
want
it's hard.
familiar yet different. They want something that feels familiar but is different.
Yeah. Like the Hollywood pitching jokes, it's a cross between Pink Panther and Blue Lagoon, or I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
Yep, and
like,
next week we're gonna be working on log lines like that for your query letter. And the thing I'm gonna comment, I am old. I am very old. And most of our industry is run by shiny-haired 32-year-old girls named Jennifer. And I mean, they could be my daughters. And when I reference Steel Magnolias meets Star Wars, they stare at me. They don't know Steel Magnolias. They don't know Forrest Gump. They don't know everything that just makes my heart go pitter patter. So we have to be very careful that when we're doing the X meets Y, which we're going to do, that we use current things that younger people would recognize that would be iconic.
Yeah, that's
I had an editor who didn't know who Madonna was.
wow.
Yep.
Don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
goes, yeah, the one with all the plastic surgery, she said. Oh,
Well, the one that's got the most record sales of all time. I don't know if she got the most. Matters what measure you use, but she's way up there, I think.
she's way up there, but she hasn't done anything in 30 years.
That's right. That's right.
And these girls are 30. I don't mean to say girls. These young women are 32. You know, Madonna is nobody to them.
Yep, she's done.
I'd love to
yeah,
be
the
that done.
cultural awareness. I don't know what happened. Because even, if I'd heard of somebody, even if I didn't really understand. So I don't know. I teach high school kids, so that's my constant battle is I don't know who you're talking about, and I don't think that I want to know.
Well, there's another thing is I've found is that when I talk to young people, all they're interested in is audiobooks. That's all they
Oh yeah.
Audiobooks are 35%, no, 34%. In 2024, we don't have 2025 numbers yet, but the Book Industry Studies Group put out a report with Publishers Weekly that 34.5% of the income that the US publishing market made in 2024 was strictly from audiobooks.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's it's like can be daunting because it's like how can I keep up with all the new stuff? I like the old stuff. I still want to go back and watch the classics and read the classics, but I guess if you're going to be in the market, you got to get through the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I am obsessed with I love like the Godfather movies and Goodfellas and Martin Scorsese. And I mean, give me a good, Gangs of New York. And I love gangsters. I do not know what that says about me. And vampires and gangsters and they come around over and over again.
Well,
So
yeah, they do.
Here was the second question I had,
yep.
which is I set up a author website that's supposed to be able to sell books through it, and I really don't know, but you can link to all the different sales thing. Is that going to have any use to it? Is that used at all, or is that just
Well, if
something?
you sell the rights to your book to, let's say, Penguin Putnam,
Uh-huh.
you don't get to sell your own book. Because they don't want you competing with them. They want to sell your book.
Okay. Could I use would the author website have any use if I used it to just only link to their sale, or they want to control?
Absolutely, that's what they want. Yeah, you could link to bookshop.org, Spotify, Amazon, yeah, all those places.
I don't want to get the horse behind the car in front of the cart here, but somehow I'm going to have to learn about audiobooks later.
Well, the publishers will take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just, you're in a long drive and you turn the app on your phone and you download I don't know, Hilary Mantel novel and just listen to it.
Yeah, the approach I'm taking now is right now I'm going to get three comp titles. Is what I'm going to do, and we'll just do one step at a time, and
All
eventually
right.
come together. I
Well, and you guys, if you find more comp titles, I'll look up as many as you find.
but a minimum of three, or if one of them is a iconic, right?
Right. Yep. It would be nice if you're a debut author that one of your comps be from a debut author. It's not necessary, but it would be nice. Yeah. Well, okay, Ken. Good to see you. Or do you prefer Kenneth? What do you prefer?
Ken is fine. I picked Kenneth for the pen name. Kenneth is my legal name, but nobody calls me that. So
I just wanted to know what you prefer to be called.
I prefer Ken. Thank you.
And it is Schnookums. I'll call you Schnookums.
Yeah, I was thinking that,
That works for me.
darling.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks for the chat.
I think I'm behind. So I don't really want to take up any more time. I just need to read the course materials and make sure I get the assignment in that's due this week. Right?
Yeah. When you say you're behind, I've seen your. I mean, you've done 1 and 2.
I did? No, I didn't.
Wait, hold on. 1. Okay. Yes. So
You don't. I don't want to turn everything in all at once. So I mean, I'll go back and I'll do them, but you don't have to.
you're
What am
very welcome to, because they build on each other. And if you want to do your proposal and like your author page, because next week we're going to be focusing on your author bios, and we're going to be focusing on your query letters. And so I don't want to, take up your time, but you dump them on me.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I will. I hate it when my students are all like, "Oh yeah, I made up everything that I hadn't done all semester," but I do want to do them. I just got behind. I am
That's
going to
fine.
do them. Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. Get them to me whenever you can.
Hopefully, I'll be on track now to be on time. Thank you.
I just learned something no matter what we're talking about, because all these questions are helpful to me. So I appreciate all the questions you're asking, Karen. Thanks.
Yeah.
But
Any questions? This is your time. Bring them on.
So Amy, from the last class, you had given me the not yet published Canadian book. I can't think of the name right now, that I listed where I'd like to be shelved by.
Oh,
So is that any kind of comp? It's by a traditional publisher out of Canada. It's the last one on the list. It's
the
not
last
going to
one
be
on the
released
list.
till, yeah, it's not going to be released till 2027, but it does show
Oh,
market interest. So no, I
it
can't use
does.
it.
No, you can, but then you have to show another one that's sold really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way
And
that
again,
I phrase it is that I forget the name of the book. I'm sorry, but
no, I do too.
that that this book was written purposefully. I mean, your book in particular, the topic is, and you narrowed it down, and I'm really proud of all the work you've done on it. But this book that is yet to be published, I can look up in Publishers Marketplace to see how big of a deal it was. And you
Okay.
can say, this author got a 6-figure offer from this publisher, and and that book is very similar, same readership as mine.
Okay.
That sounds
Okay.
much better than thinking, "Oh, why bother? I'm just gonna quit."
Oh, I think that regularly, routinely, and then I reread the beginning of my book and say, "What the heck was I thinking?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, what is the point?" Then I read some of these other ones, like I started reading a couple that I had downloaded, and it's these read so much more easily than mine. I don't know why it came out the way it did, but that's how it came out. So when I was in the flow, that's the book that wrote itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot to be
Some
said for
books
that.
are very, very literary and dense, and other books, they're a little more like rice cakes. They're, like popcorn. They're a little lighter. Different voices
Well,
for
I think
them.
yeah,
No, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that part of it was the challenge of really setting the foundation in the number of pages you need, like the first 10 pages, and then it just all kind of came out that way. I mean, that's a lot of editing too. I mean, I have been over and over and over and over and over and over it again, but it helped me find the actual truth of my relationship with the organization. It was about books, which is really ironic. Start with the publishers when you're 4 years old. It's the way to go. But yeah, so it's just, but now I have a good sense of it, and Jessica's recommendation was right to just narrow the focus.
Focus on your son. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, this one's focusing on me. So the mental illness part is the second book, and it's already half written because I'd already had it as part of it.
Oh, I
But that's why I
misunderstood what
couldn't
she had
land.
told you.
No,
Good. Okay.
that's why I couldn't land it, is because I didn't give enough time to my relationships with the cult. And
Mhm.
and this ends when I leave, and then the next one starts when Steve has his break. Like, which is just a couple of years later. She said, well, isn't there like a minute in between? I said, well, yeah, there were actually probably 2 years. And yeah, so that is a natural break. And in the end, if no one wants this book, they may end up being two books, or it may be a book that sells later. But for now, as I saw how many books about the subject, most of them are about, oh, look how I reworked my life when I finally left the religion. And mine is like, oh, look what happened when I stayed too long. And then
Yeah.
I finally get out. So it's a little different twist. But what I realized in doing the where you're shelved by, people don't care when they're reading about the subject.
No.
I think the literary part of it has it harder. I have a friend that I met in Santa Fe with Allison, who is very journalistic and had a real hard time with the intro, the first chapter, but then she got it. You know, that it is staccato, because that is life back then. So hopefully the voice comes through. So I'm looking for agents and editors who want a strong voice, literary narrative.
Yeah. And who are interested in religious deconstruction, which could not be hotter now if you tried.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing it like that. That gave me hope. So my intent is to get this wrapped up this spring, because the other book is desperately demanding to be finished as well.
All
And
right.
yeah. So
Cool.
so me too. And I think the timing's good. That's all. I think indoctrination of all kinds is pretty hot right now. Trying to understand why we do the things we do.
This is me biting my tongue.
Why are you
Don't,
biting your tongue?
I don't want to get in trouble.
For what? Oh,
Yeah,
for that? For
I
that?
just indoctrinate. I don't want to, I've got very strong
Yeah.
opinions about,
No,
yeah.
I have to, after spending the last 3 days with my son, who's in complete psychosis, and one of his
Oh.
delusions is about being God, or I'm not quite sure why, because it changes moment to moment. It was interesting. He was also in a psychotic, have to walk the whole time. So he must have done 7 in these short laps, like 35 step laps in the little courtyard. He must have done 7 miles the last 2 days. I finally start taking times out. It's like, I'm here for you, but I can't keep up with you. But what came back to me, which is why I need to get going on this other book, is all the things that I taught him that I'm just sick about teaching him. That is part of why he can't reality check. Because when you are that young, indoctrinated, you never knew you had a choice.
Which is why I think that your first book makes a lot of sense, because you're going to want your readers to see where you came from and give you the grace. So, by the time you're telling your son's story, they've gotten to know you and they know where you came from.
But and the reality is, I was 4, and then I never questioned it, because they gave us books. And books are the truth, and that's where the beginning came from. Anyhow, if you haven't seen it yet, that's the whatever. But yeah.
Good.
So I am more hopeful this round, and I also have more definition to be able to query, and not just chalk it up to having to be a self-published situation, even though I will be very involved with marketing it, because it's a subject that I want to help people with. So that is my story.
Cool.
That was a helpful point about getting to know you first before that they can a reader would be willing to get to know someone else. Because with memoir, it just feels like you're unraveling all of it and getting millions of different versions of the story, and then it's hard to figure out what is the core, what's the root, what's most
That's where
important.
that's where editors or beta readers can help, because the best, most successful memoirs right now, it's a slice of life.
Right.
It's not therapy. It's not, we used to call it womb to tomb. We're not telling a womb to tomb story. You're
Yeah,
telling one slice of your life. And then there's another book, you can tell another slice. But yeah, cut everything away except for the one story you're telling. But
yeah,
it's
that
tough
was
to
the
do
hardest.
that.
Yes.
Well, it was because I see how they flowed together. But Jessica just looked at my synopsis and she said, this is too much for people to handle. I said, well, it's too much for me to handle. So I get it totally. I lived it, but yeah, it was not. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this allows me to do a better job because I have to be because it is so bizarre, because it is so frank. It was my life. And there's a lot of trauma. I had to be the one in charge, and the way I could let my voice come through and be in charge is by making it just about my relationship with religion and the life that happened. It's finding the real story amidst the things that happened.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds like you've made amazing strides with it.
I'm pretty impressed until I go to read it again, and then I say, "What was I thinking?" But that's okay. But I can't find fault with the writing, so I have to accept it. It
There's an
was
old
the
saying in
concept.
publishing that no manuscript is ever finished, it's just eventually abandoned.
Yeah,
Eventually you just say, okay, all right, take it. You take it. I'm done.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
getting.
I
I'm,
just I had to revise my goals. Like, okay, just I'm getting these 10 pages the way they're supposed to be so I can get an agent to help me get a publishing deal, and then I'll figure out the rest. Yeah.
Karen, if you're doing a memoir, it's not just the first 10 pages. You have to write the whole memoir.
Oh, okay. Well, I wrote the diary sappy feeling sorry for me version, and then I wrote a flashback fancy version, and then I wrote the chronological version. So yeah, I think I've got maybe three more versions, and I might be ready by then.
All right.
I'm kidding.
I could
Kind of kidding.
I could see how just writing one really interesting slice, then they're going to want to know buy the next book. Then you sold two books rather than one. And also, I think you can get your readers to focus on just one set of issues and really get the point. To me, that seems like a real good strategy. Yeah, and good strategy probably for the person selling the books too, because they can sell two rather than one. Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference between a biography and a memoir. A
Yep.
biography is a life story. And I got to tell you, Kathy aside, um, there's just not that many people whose entire life story is worth a whole book. I am a former foster kid. I sang for the Metropolitan Opera, ride motorcycles for the last 20 years. I live in an RV in Mexico. My story is too boring. I wouldn't write a memoir. And it, the the thing about a biography is you need to be famous. But with a memoir, you don't have to be. But a memoir, again, is a story. It is not your life story.
Yeah, it's just a part of it.
and
Right.
even when I approached it that way in the beginning, I had the tell the whole story, and then I even thought I was done last summer, and then once I limited it to once the theme became clear, the structure fell into place. And one of my issues was not starting early enough to when indoctrination really starts hijacking your brain. And
Mm.
it just took time. It took time sitting with it. I am now listening to, and I'm not going to remember, Cal Newport, who wrote some deep work. And I realized it's when I started settling into those 3 and 4 and 5 hour blocks of time that things started really surfacing. And there was a whole process when I thought I had the book done to where I really metabolized it into the story that it needed to be, which
I'm
was a really
sorry,
painful summer.
I didn't understand that last sentence. Can you metabolize and
Yeah,
then
it
what?
metabolized. So I went through the summer until it became what it was supposed to be. It was not,
Got it.
it wasn't just a story about the things that happened to me, but more about being consumed by something that,
Mhm.
and it's what happens in religion all over the place, even good religions. It's you don't choose for yourself, you make you trust. And so and I do some work on Substack with it too, because it's just too much for a book. But the whole idea that people aren't stupid. They just trust who told them something, and then they don't know not to trust it anymore. If that makes any sense.
It does. Now we've got a few minutes left. Does anyone else have any publishing or book questions?
Just say that there's a lot of logic and common sense to the class that I'm finding really useful. I
Oh,
appreciate
I'm so glad.
it's and yep. So that's what I'm trying to do is just do the class. When I did best in school, I always did what the teacher said.
No,
Well,
I'm
I'm going
thankful
to
for your help and for the class too, because it really puts it all into perspective and helps focus on what's most important, what's the most important story, you know. So thank
Well,
you.
what I'm doing right now is I'm sending everyone an email through Outlook. Let me just open that up with those 3 YouTube links. It's my system for writing a plot synopsis. Super.
Oh yeah.
It's Post-it notes. Super email. And then
In
how to
3/4
do
of a
it.
mile, keep a right to California
Sorry.
86 Express
All right.
Trail Valley.
Let me mute. It's time for
No,
me to
no,
get off
that's
and get
fine. Well,
gas.
we want you to be focused.
It's like a
Okay.
piece of literature. We just went into
Okay,
real.
she's not gonna shut up in a minute, so I can't find out how to mute this. Can you mute me, Amy?
Sure.
Okay, please do, because
There we go. Sorry, Kathy. All right, let me just find the email that I sent you all. And I will resend this. All right. Links to classes on query letters, plots, and social media.
Hi, Kitty.